Hello everyone, Absent Friend here, and today we are doing another Disney Villainous guide. Hey, why is everything in black and white? And why do I sound so distorted in mono? Oh wait, it must mean we are about to embark on a river journey with our favorite steamboat captain, Pete. In this video, we will be looking at all the cards in Pete's deck with a few tips on how to play them or not play them, as the case may be. We will also be looking at Pete's Fate deck for anyone who may want some tips and tricks on how to effectively keep him from winning the game. Before we begin, be sure to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell to be alerted when new episodes are available. To win as Pete, he must complete 4 randomly selected goals. Yeah, right, it should be so simple. Something tells me some of these goals are going to be start your turn goals. Typical. Well, let's dive in and find out, shall we? Let's start with the allies. He has a total of 14. 7 bandits, 3 horses, 3 parrots, and 1 cricket. Let's start with bandits. These outlaws cost 2 power and have a strength of 3. Pete may also play multiple bandits in one action as long as he has them in his hand and the power to do it. Use these guys to try and knock out the power play goal instantly. It can also help to get closer to completing the Rule the Realm and or Roundup goals. After achieving any or all of these goals, use them to vanquish heroes and keep Pete's play card actions free. He will need them to meet his other goals. Next up, horse.
A horse is a horse, of course, of course.
Stop that. This 1 power cost equine has a strength of 2. It also has the ability to allow Pete to move any ally or item in the realm to any location. This is very handy for trying to accomplish Strike It Rich, Round Up, or Rule the Realm. Hang on to this card and play it whenever Pete needs to move something. Up next, Parrot. This pretty bird also costs 1 power, but has a strength of 1. Its ability allows Pete to take any card from his discard pile and place it into his hand. Very handy for getting something important out of the discard pile that Pete would like to use again, or may have lost from some other means. And the last ally is Cricket. It's a cricket. This little insect has a strength of 1 and costs 1 power to play. Also, whenever a new hero is placed into the realm, Pete may move this little guy to that new hero's location. This can be very handy to keep the balance in Pete's favor for completing the Rule the Realm goal. So go ahead and play this card as soon as possible. And that's it for Pete's allies. Now let's move on to his items. He has a total of 4. 1 bank loot, 1 stolen cargo, 1 jalopy, and 1 steamboat Willie. Let's start with bank loot and stolen cargo. Both of these hot items cost 3 power to play and must be played to a certain location. Bank loot to the frontier town, stolen cargo to the airport. Pete will need these to accomplish the Strike It Rich goal. Use the horse or move ally/item actions to move them to wherever they need to be. If that goal is not in Pete's realm, just discard them. Next item is jalopy. I don't know either. For the cost of 3 power, Pete can add a play a card action to the service station at first. Unless the Strike It Rich goal is out and not complete, move this card to either the frontier town or leave it at the service station in case some pesky Fator has covered the play a card action at either of these locations and Pete needs them to complete the power play or win big goals. Next, Steamboat Willie. This riverboat costs 3 power and allows Pete to add an extra move ally/item action to Podunk Landing. If he is not trying to complete Strike It Rich, use this to move allies around to finish other goals. If he is trying to Strike It Rich, use this marine vehicle to move items into the correct place. And that's it for the items. Now for his effects. He has a total of 8. 4 Play a Game, 3 Sneaky Pete, and 1 Airstrike. Let's start with Play a Game. This card costs 2 power to play and is essential for finishing the win big goal. Even if Pete doesn't need to achieve this goal, this card can be very handy at getting some free power. It is a gamble though, so use it wisely. If Pete is mischievous or sneaky, he could know what is coming in the deck with the use of his next effect, Sneaky Pete. This effect is free to play and allows Pete to draw 2 cards from his deck and into his hand. Use this to place a high-cost card from your hand on top of the deck to increase the chances of finishing the win big goal. His last effect is Airstrike. For the cost of 3 power, Pete will move to any location that has a hero and defeat them. Of course, use this card to rid Pete's realm of any pesky hero like you-know-who. Otherwise, use Sneaky Pete to place this card on top of the deck for a better chance to win big. And that's it for all the cards that Pete can play during his turn. Now on to the conditions. He has a total of 4. 2 Mischief and 2 Outrage. Let's start with Outrage. During an opponent's turn, if they move an ally/item, Pete may defeat a hero with a strength of 3 or less. Very handy to defeat the weaker heroes and save his allies for other things. However, if the opponents are not going to be moving allies/items anytime soon, just discard this. And the other condition, Mischief. If another opponent gains 3 or more power during their turn, Pete may draw 2 cards from the bottom of his deck into his hand. Then place any 1 card from his hand on either the top or bottom of his deck. Since most heroes will be getting 3 power often, save this card and use it to stack the deck so Pete can win big or just gain lots of power from the Play a Game card. And that completes Pete's deck. Now let's hop over to the Fate deck to see how we can cause enough chaos to Pete's world and keep him from winning the game. Let's start with the heroes. First up, Mickey Mouse, the original Mouse. He has a strength of 5, and while in play, Pete cannot complete any of his goals. This is obviously the best Fate card in the deck. Try to play him where he will not be defeated so easily, but also try to play him in combination with the next hero, Donald Duck. This 3-strength hero must be defeated before any other hero. Keep this duck out as much as possible to cover up actions and be just an all-out nuisance to Big Pete. The next hero is Minnie Mouse. This 4-strength hero can also discard an ally or item in Pete's realm. Discard the Jalopy or Steamboat Willie if possible. Otherwise, just discard whatever is in the realm that Pete appears to be gathering to complete a goal. Next, Goofy. He has a strength of 3 and can switch 2 adjacent gold tokens or move a gold token to an adjacent location that does not have one. Early on in the game, this hero is pretty useless, so save him until later when Pete is trying to gather items or allies, then move the gold tokens to mess him up fast. The next hero is Clarabelle Cow. This side of beef has a strength of 2, and when she is played, she may reveal 1 of Pete's gold tokens. She can be very handy at the beginning of the game, but not so handy later on, so try to play her early to reveal a goal and block some actions. Next up is Horace Horsecollar. This hero horse has 2 strength, and when played, he can move any ally or item to any location. This is very handy to move items away from Strike It Rich or allies out of Roundup. If Pete hasn't begun getting items or allies yet, play the other Fate card. Next up is Pluto. This adorable dog has a strength of 2, but can also move any item to his location when played. Use him to move an item as far from Strike It Rich as possible, or even to move the jalopy out of Frontier Town or the service station if Pete is trying to keep those actions there. If there are no items to move, play the other fate card. And the final hero is Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. He has a strength of 2 and can reduce the power Pete gains from play a game by 1. His use is obvious, but even if Pete isn't trying to win big, he can still be used to cover actions. That's it for the heroes. Now let's see how to effectively cover the actions in Pete's realm. First up, cover the Frontier Town. Then cover the service station. That will cut off Pete's ability to play cards there, so if he is trying to power play or win big, he won't be able to very easily. After those are covered, cover the airport, and finally, Podunk Landing. Now, on to the fate items. Alright, on to the fate effects. He has a total of 7. 2 hide, 2 knock silly, 2 outlawed, and 1 tired. First up, hide. This effect lets the Fator discard a bandit from Pete's realm. Use this to delay Pete from finishing the roundup goal or the rule the realm goal. Check the situation carefully to see where Pete is gathering allies or if he is spreading them around. The next fate effect is Knocked Silly. With this card, the Fator will reveal the top 5 cards in Pete's deck and then discard all cards with a cost of 2 or more, returning the rest back to the deck in a random order. This effect is very handy at keeping Pete from the win big goal. Even if he's not trying for this goal, this can discard some very powerful cards from Pete's deck. Now on to Outlawed. With this effect, Pete loses 2 power and one of his gold tokens is revealed. Early on in the game, this effect is very handy at showing the goals while also stripping away some of Pete's power. Later in the game, it's more of a judgment call on which fate card is better at the time. And the last effect is Tired. This effect forces Pete to lose half of his power, rounded down. If Pete has gained a lot of power, take half of it away. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everyone found this video informative and maybe even picked up a few pointers on how to better play Pete or even play against Pete. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe. Keep watching this channel for more Disney Villainous guides. But before we go, let me know in the comments which Disney villain you think is not really a villain. I'm your absent friend, signing off.